Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Arena for varsity girls basketball competition. Please welcome our guests all the way from Daytona Beach, Florida. From Father Lopez Catholic High School, they are the Green Wave. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Before we begin our game this evening, we ask that you please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? And now let's meet the lineups for both teams, beginning with our guests from Lopez, and we'll start at guard with senior number 2, Taylor Williams. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. We'll start at guard with 5'7" junior, number 3, Mayanna Garrett. At guard, 5'5" junior, number 12, Briera Williams. At guard, 5'9" junior, number 15, Emmy James. At forward, 5'8" junior, number 42, Erica Simmons. And finally for the Mustangs, at guard, 5'8" senior, number 4, Tanisha Payne. The head coach of the Mustangs, Mr. Tommy Butts, and assistant coaches Keisha Brown Griffin, Latoya Russ, and George Spearman. The officials for tonight's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. And once again, we remind you that if you are listening to us online, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you, Jerry Seal. We see that you just subscribed there. We would like to get to 400 by the end of the night tonight. We are at 393. You can be the last 7. Subscribe to us now, regardless of whether you're here in the arena or listening to us online. Make sure your friends and family back in Daytona know they can tune in to YouTube Live channel Wekiva Sports. And welcome to Mustang Arena. Mark Parchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you. And I think we're going to call that Wekiva getting the jump ball and then turning it over, but Nevertheless, they'll give it right back. And another steal. So 3 consecutive turnovers to start tonight's game. And Neil, that's an odd way to start the game for 2 teams that are both as celebrated as these two are. And this is Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief joining me for tonight's game.
Well, first off, Mark, yes, you are correct. That doesn't happen very often. And second of all, as always, thank you. And it's good to be back here at Mustang Arena. Of course, we were here last night for boys action, which, to put it mildly, did not turn out the way that us Wekiva faithful was hoping for. Tonight, as you mentioned, aside from this rather unusual start, you got 2 teams coming in. Not only are they having very solid and actually the kinds of seasons they're having the kinds of seasons that you expect 2 teams that usually go deep into the FHSA postseason tournament to have.
Traveling Mustangs ball.
Father Lopez, of course, comes in 9-2. Wekiva is 10-2 themselves, and they're about as hot as a team can get. They won their last game by 104-7. Yes, I said 104 points. And the game before that, they won by I believe it was about 77-17. So they're about as hot as possible. Although after about a minute here, you would never know it by either team.
Yeah, slow start on both sides. We got 3 turnovers each for these teams in the opening minutes of the game. No points on the board as of yet. Wekiva has taken a couple of shots. Lopez just unleashed a 3 there. It didn't work out for him. Here comes another 3. That's too hot. And Payne gets the rebound.
So sit back and relax. Of course, Mark. Mark always lets our fans know that we are here to broadcast the game.
Diana Garrett from Emmy James to put the Mustangs on the board. And yeah, this is a little bit light on attendance tonight. I think we expected that, first of all, because Lopez is from quite a ways away, all the way from Daytona Beach. And secondly, because we actually had no school today. This is the first day of the winter holiday for most of our students in the Orlando metro area. Simmons had a good look at it, gets her own rebound, can't get the putback either. And the rebound's going to go to Williams, who then throws it directly into the waiting arms of Emmy James, and it's James to Garrett for the Mustang basket. So while the Mustangs seem to have figured out their lives as far as turnovers and ball handling go, Lopez has taken an extra couple of minutes to do that, and that could become key later on if this ends up being a close contest. Inside cuts, good look there, but it won't go. Can't get the rebound either, or the putback. And the rebound ultimately goes to Simmons.
Yeah, and despite their problems with the turnovers, Wekiva has actually done a good job on the board so far. Out-rebounding Father Lopez by 4-1 count. And we're going to get another turnover here. And I got to tell you, Mark, of course, I don't get an opportunity to watch Father Lopez very often, but based on what I've heard about him and what I read about him in the half a dozen times or so that I've seen him in maybe the last 10 years, this is not something which was expected. 6 turnovers so far.
30-second timeout requested by the Green Wave. And we'll be right back here at Mustang Arena. Welcome back to live action here at Mustang Arena. And Neil, I was just asking the official as he came over here to call the timeout, did you grease the ball before the game? Something is not quite right. Something very amiss in the way the Green Wave are opening. Yeah, and here we have Diana Garrett fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. Foul called against Tanasia Robinson, her first and the team's first.
And Mark, as I was saying before we went to that timeout there, this is not what you expect to see out of a Father Lopez team. They had 5 during that timeout. Of course, they just committed a 6. So not even halfway through the first quarter, 3 minutes in here exactly, we already have 6 turnovers. Now, as you mentioned, Wekiva had some issues as well since the beginning, but they have 3. And, of course, they haven't committed a turnover in about a minute and a half. And now they're going to a full court defense here.
Jumper won't go for Williams. Rebound to Bree Williams, so Williams to Williams there. And, yeah, Father Lopez is a 9-2 program, and like you, Neil, I don't get a chance to follow them very often, but I know that their story this season has been similar to Wekiva's overall. A lot of big victories over some of their weaker opponents. Their 2 losses coming to very strong opponents that were scheduled deliberately to give them experience rather than a win. So that's a very similar story to what we've seen from Wekiva. These are 2 teams that are no strangers to the playoffs, and we expect great things out of both of them this season. So a little bit of an anomalous start here for the Green Wave, but if I were Wekiva, I would not be resting on my laurels because that could change at any moment.
Yeah, certainly not. While Wekiva seems to have settled down with the turnovers, they are not making many they're not making the field goals. They have taken 8 of them now.
And they're going to pick up a foul right here. Mustang foul called against Mayanna Garrett. That's her first personal foul, and the team's first at the line shooting 2 for the Green Wave, Taylor Williams.
So Wekiva's only 2 of 8 from the field. And Father Lopez has actually only been able to take 4 free throws, which of course makes sense given that they've turned the ball over 6 times. If you don't have the ball, you can't shoot it.
So Lopez still looking for their first field goal, but they will get on the board thanks to 2 made free throws by Taylor Williams.
And a 5-2 score now. And Father Lopez is remaining in a half-court set on defense. As we mentioned on that last possession, Wekiva has gone to full court pressure.
Robinson doing very well there, nearly picking it off a couple of times, making the Mustangs really work for it. Bree Williams gets off one of her signature threes, but it's a little bit short, and the rebound goes to Gabby Watson. Gabby Watson behind the arc for 3.
Nice job there by
Watson. So for all their problems, we now have a tie ball game.
Yeah, nice job there by Watson, who did a stop and go and got around the defender.
She's also going to get the rebound here as Garrett's 3 won't go. Back-to-back turnovers for each team. We're right back where we started. Lopez with an opportunity to take the lead for the first time tonight. Tipped by Bree Williams. It stays in control of Watson. Watson on the pass to Tiara White for the go-ahead basket.
So nice job there by Watson. A good interior pass, creating a double team and taking one of the defenders away and leaving the middle open there for the shot.
Green Wave foul is called against number 24, Tanasia Robinson. That's her second personal foul, and the team's second as well. Into the game, Madeline Tuzet and Shania McCarthy for the Mustangs. Back in is Lindsey Rogers for the Green Wave.
So a pair of freshmen there in Tuzet and McCarthy. And during that timeout, one of the, I could hear Coach Butts telling his team that they're holding on to the ball too long. I couldn't hear much else, but that's where he started his message.
McCarthy to Mayanna Garrett for 2, and we're back to a tie game.
So, and McCarthy, who just came in, pays dividends right away, doing the same thing Watson had done on the previous possession, drawing the double team, and that opened up the baseline for the easy shot there. And now Wekiva moves back into a half-court defense. They're going man-to-man.
Foul is called against Madeline Tuzet, her first, the team's second, and the basket is good by White. She's shooting for the three-point play.
Who? White? You said White?
What are you asking?
Who's at the line? No, I mean the name. White. Okay. So even though the free throw did not go in there, Mark, it was a nice job by White. She basically had a stop-and-go move. Saw the defender right away leading into her and drew the contact.
Yeah, and I had that foul against Payne, but the referees called it against Tuzet. Held ball, possession, Lopez. And so now that contested jump ball at the beginning of the game turns out to matter. And that'll be a turnover for Wekiva.
So, Mark, get to test out your point guard skills there.
Yeah.
Handling the rock. So, again, Father Lopez has settled down somewhat with the turnovers. It's still 8, though, in this quarter.
McCarthy can't get the three. Madeline Tuzet is called on her second personal foul, and it's the team's third. Couple of personnel changes for the Mustangs tonight. Alexis Choice back for her second game after a long departure from the Mustangs due to injuries. Denisha Bowles is not present for tonight's game. Otherwise, though, I believe we have the gang all here.
Choice actually missed all of last season, and I guess it would be almost half of this season due to a knee injury.
Nearly gets into a tie-up with Nikki Butler, and Lopez will go back and reset. So far, the Mustang defense doing what they need to do. Stopping Lopez from any penetration. Garrett getting up into the grill of Gabby Watson there. They'll swing some more, try to get around Tuzet, let a jumper go, and it's well short of the mark from Lindsey Rogers. That's going to go out of bounds, and it'll be Lopez ball off the Mustangs. Returning to the game for the Mustangs, Emmy James. Got an open three from Williams. Too hot, though, and the rebound goes to Tuzet. Chance to score in transition, and she does. Mayanna Garrett in transition on the layup. That'll tie up the game.
Coast to coast.
Yeah.
And now Wekiva goes back to full court defense here.
A minute there, I blinked and thought I saw
using
Sadasia Payne.
And they're actually instituting a trap. Didn't pay dividends that time. Got the turnover, but couldn't get the field goal to go.
That takes us to the end of the first period. A low-scoring ball game so far, and it's a tie ball game. 9-9 is the score at the end of the opening 8 minutes. And we'll be right back here at Mustang Arena. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the second period. And welcome back once again to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief for tonight's Friday night coverage as we get into the second period of a very low-scoring game. To put it politely, you might call it a defensive contest. And that's not entirely unfair because the defense has been well executed on both sides of the ball, but some very rough ball handling skills we've seen from both teams. And there's my case in point.
Yeah, Mark, real quick, 9 turnovers in that first period for Father Lopez. Wekiva had 6. They're now up to 7, of course. And at the end of that first quarter, Wekiva went to a trap, full court trap. Now they go back to a half court set. And neither team has shot the ball well, as you would expect in a 9-9 ball game. Only 3 of 13 for Father Lopez, 4 of 14 for Wekiva.
And Williams going to get called here for traveling Mustangs ball. So another turnover, making it even 10 for Lopez so far.
And both teams pretty much equal, 11 rebounds for Father Lopez, 10 for Wekiva. And that first quarter was pretty much spent with both teams going through 2 or 3 minute spans of not being able to hold on to the ball. And of course, with the 9-9 score, it all evened out at the end.
Miana Garrett on the Mustangs putback.
So nice job there by Garrett, obviously, but she got her foot established down low and shouldered up to the basket and then used the backboard.
And you'll see that as a hallmark of Wekiva's playing style, as an ill-advised swipe there from Garrett is going to cost the Mustangs a possession. Not a turnover, but nevertheless a forfeited rebound there. Sanisha Payne back into the game for the Mustangs, and Tierra White comes in for Lopez. And as I started to say a minute ago there, you're going to see that as a hallmark of the Mustang offense. Bree Williams is a sharpshooter from three-point range. She doesn't hit them all, but she does hit a lot of them. And if she doesn't, look for Garrett and Payne to get in there along with Emmy James for those putback opportunities. And that's where the Mustangs have really managed to get an edge so far. Alexis Choice is called on a push. That's her first personal foul and the team's fourth.
Yeah, Mark, and that's actually Choice's first foul in about a year and a half.
Yes.
Side note there, if you weren't with us a few minutes ago, Choice actually just returned from a knee injury, which occurred during the preseason last year, not this year, but last year. So she's missed about a year and a half of action. Definitely could have been used last year during the district championship tournament and into the FHSA postseason tournament.
Number 2, Taylor Williams from Stewart. And we're back to a tie ball game. And Neil, I think we might be starting to settle into a pattern here. This may not have been an anomaly from the first quarter. Emmy James on the pass to Miana Garrett for the Mustang layup.
Nice job there by both James and Garrett, taking what was being given, using the open space, and now Wekiva is going to a full court trap.
And it pays dividends here. Garrett gets the steal and is fouled on the attempt. Called against Tierra White, her first personal foul, and the team's third. And there, it was 1-on-2, and Garrett, in spite of not being the tallest basketball player to ever grace this court, manages to get in there for the steal with nobody else out there to help her. And Garrett's going to have 2 shots coming.
Yeah, Garrett definitely using her speed and agility there. That was textbook execution of any kind of trap. Traps are not so much about height or power or how strong a player is. It's more about being able to cut down the angles.
And so it pays off with 2 free throws made for Garrett. Yeah, Miana Garrett and Sadesia Payne both are well known among the Mustang squad for their speed, that they can score in transition, they can come out of nowhere for steals, and they're very difficult if you're on the other team to keep in your peripheral vision and keep track of where they are on the court. Offensive charge is called against Taylor Williams, her first and the team's fourth. And so a nice job by Choice taking the foul there and actually even confusing the official briefly who called it against Choice, even though it was a charge. So good work there on getting the turnover. Garrett gets blocked.
We had two Mustangs fighting for the ball.
Payne can't get the putback. Stewart ultimately on the rebound there.
And now Wekiva, on the last three possessions, they've gone to a 2-3 zone. So we've seen them use three different defensive sets here, and alternating between full court and half court as well. And 15-11 is the biggest lead of the game. Actually, I stand corrected. It's the second. They were actually up 5-0.
And Sadeja Payne describing or putting on exactly what I just described. Emmy James on the pass to Mayanna Garrett.
Oh, Mark, a textbook execution of interior passing there. James got into the lane, made the quick cross the paint pass. And there was some more textbook execution, this time on the rebounding end.
And that, I think, should have been a kickball call, but nevertheless. It's an easy picking for Gabby Watson, stealing two for the Green Wave. Yeah, Williams lost the dribble there when she dribbled it off of White's shoe.
Yeah, Watson has really kept Father Lopez in this game.
"30-second timeout requested by the Green Wave." We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mustangs starting to find a little bit of momentum here as they come out to a 4-point lead. We haven't seen more than a 2-point lead in either direction since mid-first quarter. Jumper from the top of the key won't go for White. Garrett pulls in the rebound.
And that was just Wekiva out hustling for Father Lopez to the ball. And again, on that foul, there was some hustle.
Foul called against Green Wave number 4, Gabby Watson. It's her first personal foul, and the team's fifth at the line, shooting 2, Shania McCarthy.
And as we mentioned, back in the first quarter there, McCarthy is actually only a freshman. First year on the team, and I think you can really see why they're very strong fundamental skill in executing that rebound there, getting her shoulders underneath the basket and establishing her feet. Unfortunately, she couldn't make the second free throw. Wekiva certainly could have used that point.
And a shot is well off target by White. Tuzé comes down with the board. Coach Butts trying to call timeout, but he doesn't get it, and it's going to be Tierra White with the steal. Block is called against number 42, Erica Simmons. That's her first personal foul, and the team's fifth, and it sends Tanisha Robinson to shoot 2. Checking into the game for the Green Wave, Lindsey Rogers.
So only the first and second free throws taken in this quarter by Father Lopez, and Well, Wekiva caught a break there as the Green Wave should have had that ball, to be honest. Two and a half minutes left before halftime, and Father Lopez is remaining in man-to-man coverage, half court.
A long 2-point jump shot from Shania McCarthy on the assist from Emmy James. So just barely she misses out on the three-pointer there, but we'll get another chance here. Shania McCarthy steals 2.
And again, she's only a freshman, and there you can see, again, good execution of the fundamentals leading to the steal and then the points. And now we get yet another turnover, the 7th of the quarter by Father Lopez.
Emmy James from Sedasia Payne. And now the Mustangs are on a bona fide run. Madeline Touzé is called on the hit. It's her 3rd personal foul, and the team's 6th. And so for whatever it's worth, for the next $1.44, the Green Wave will enjoy bonus.
Wekiva scored 7 of the last 8 points, and 4 of those points have come via the turnover.
Yeah, we haven't seen any Green Wave field goals in several minutes here, and it's clearly showing as the Mustangs finally have found their rhythm. Steal here by Touzé. Mustangs trying to see if they can get something done in transition. Hard pass is fielded well by Shania McCarthy, and McCarthy draws the foul. She'll get to shoot 2 for the Mustangs. Green Wave foul called on Taylor Williams, her 2nd, and the team's 6th. So now we'll have 1-on-1 bonus both ways after this set of free throws.
This will be the 5th and 6th free throws of this quarter for Wekiva. They'll have 8 in total for the half.
Diana Garrett back in for the Mustangs. Lauren Stewart for Lopez.
And of course, Touzé set up the scoring opportunity with the steal in the backcourt, and she's the other freshman on the team along with McCarthy. So I guess we could say we saw the freshman connection here on this possession. And now Wekiva going back to full court defense, man-to-man. Minute 10 left.
And in spite of a good offensive rebound, Diana Garrett will take it right back for the Mustangs. And Garrett is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against number 30, Tierra White, on the hit. That's her 2nd personal foul and the team's 7th. Under a minute to play here in the 2nd period. Garrett's first is good. And I think what we've seen here, Neil, both teams starting out with some rhythm problems, some ball handling problems. Wekiva has remedied theirs. Father Lopez has not.
Yeah, that was the 9th turnover in this quarter for Father Lopez. Wekiva has 3.
And that'll make 18 total for them. Another swipe by Garrett. Not able to actually get the pick this time, but comes pretty close. And the Mustangs on a bona fide run. We've seen 1 point from the Green Wave since the Mustangs have gotten their last, I think, 13 or 14.
Actually, Wekiva's outscored the Green Wave 10-1.
20, okay. It was more than I thought then. Offensive rebound for Williams will keep things alive here on this possession for Lopez. Tierra White is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Green Wave. Mustang foul called against Erica Simmons, her 2nd personal foul, and it's the team's 7th.
And so White and Watson have really carried the Green Wave here so far. I believe they've scored all their points except for 2, maybe 4, but the point is the majority, an overwhelming majority, have been scored by Watson and White. They've also done most of the ball handling as well, and that also is a big reason that they've turned the ball over 9 times, they're just not getting help from their teammates, as Wekiva's been pressing and trapping even when they set up in a half-court trap.
Watson comes in for Williams during those free throws. And a rare bad pass there as McCarthy throws it out of bounds. Returning to the game for Lopez, Taylor Williams.
So a golden opportunity there for Wekiva to really end the half doing some damage. Fortunately, they will not be able to do that. Of course, if Father Lopez so chooses, Wekiva could still have the ball back. It doesn't look that way now. Well, it does.
Williams goes for three. McCarthy fights for the rebound and gets it. And has to give up a steal as she gets desperate to get something to happen. Lindsey Rogers on the pass from Taylor Williams, and that will take us to halftime. The Mustangs on a 20-3 run to end the second period, and that will leave the score at 27-15 as we head into the locker rooms here on Friday night basketball action.
You should have 17, shouldn't we? Just made a layup.
Yes, you're right. All right, switching the arrow. And strike that, it's 27-17 as we add that last layup on there. For those of you listening to us online, don't forget to subscribe. Even if you're not listening to us online, subscribe anyway. Wekiva Sports on YouTube. And we have about 394, if I'm counting right, subscribers. We would like to get up to 400 tonight. Okay, I was right. And here are your halftime stats as we head into intermission here. For the Green Wave, we've got Lindsey Rogers, 2 points, 1 rebound, and 2 steals. Tanisha Robinson has a free throw and 2 rebounds and a steal. Taylor Williams, 4 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Gabby Watson, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. And Tiara White co-leads her team with 5 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and a blocked shot. As for the Mustangs, Sadacia Payne has 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 5 steals. Emmy James, 2 points, 5 assists, and 1 steal. Shania McCarthy, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. And Myanna Garrett leads all scorers with 19 of the Mustangs' 27 points, along with 2 rebounds, 4 steals, and a blocked shot. Again, we invite you to come out and join us next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday here at Mustang Arena, as we will be hosting the Diamond Division of the Florida Prospects Holiday Invitational. And the Mustangs' first opponent in that will be the West Oaks Academy. It's not a team that we see on our schedule very often, but that will be the first game in the quarterfinal round. And so that's coming up again next Thursday at 7:30, and then depending on the outcome of that game, we'll determine when the Mustangs play on Friday and Saturday. But regardless of what happens, all of those games will be here at Wekiva. So if you're able to spare a few minutes from your holiday schedule and come out and support your Mustangs, they would appreciate that. Mustangs are the defending champions of the Diamond Division of the Florida Prospects Holiday Classic, and they will hope to repeat again this year. Winners play later, so as long as the Mustangs keep winning, they'll keep getting those 7:30 time slots on next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. For those of you listening to us online, we're going to take a break for about the next 7.5 minutes, and then we'll be back for the second half of the Mustangs versus the Green Wave. Again, Wekiva leads Father Lopez 27-17 here at halftime.
Mark, can you please make an announcement?
Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief as Lopez has the opening possession of the third period. And they're going to start with a jumper from Taylor Williams. That's not going to go. Mayanna Garrett on the rebound.
Once again, Mark, as we get ready for the second half, Wekiva late, I wouldn't say they closed out the half with the run, but they did score 10 of 11 points here until there was about 45 seconds left, and that's how they got the lead.
Mayanna Garrett is called on the push. That's going to be her second personal foul, the team's first of the half.
So looking at the stats here in the first half, they do resemble the score, at least for Father Lopez's perspective. Only 6 of 23 shots were made, including 1 of 6 from out in the three-point range, and they were only 4 of 7 at the line.
Held ball possession Mustangs. So since the arrow favors the Mustangs, that means Erica Simmons gets credit for a steal there.
And Mark, we talked about it over and over. The game started off very sloppy for both teams. Both of them had 6 turnovers in the first quarter. Father Lopez, Wekiva was able to settle down. Father Lopez did not.
Taylor Williams steals 2 for the Green Wave.
Father Lopez wound up with 17 turnovers in that first half compared to 11. And of course, that's how he's explaining that Wekiva turns the ball over. An unforced error. They're doing some self-damage to themselves. And so Wekiva still has an 8-point lead, but they did have an opportunity to get it all the way up to 12 there.
Is that a shot? Guys, aim a little bit lower for me. James getting in the way.
So again, Father Lopez shooting on 6 of 23 from the field. Wekiva did not play very well. There was no surprise beyond the arc. However, they were 10 of 20, 50% on the field goal.
Traveling, Lopez ball. And apparently I need to work on my ball handling skills of my own a little bit here. More turnovers plaguing the Mustangs. Held ball, possession, Lopez. Strike that, possession Mustangs. Mayanna Garrett got a couple of good looks at it. Ultimately, the rebound goes to Tierra White. Garrett immediately gets back into it. And I think helps out causing a turnover there.
5:44 remaining in the third here. We're seeing a slow start, just like we did at the beginning of the game. Both teams with 3 turnovers. Only 1 field goal's been made.
Garrett's layup spins out, and the rebound goes to Gabby Watson.
Now, of course, Wekiva going back to a full court trap.
Wild shot by Robinson, won't go, but Watson's there to make the rebound. Tierra White with a jumper from Lindsey Rogers.
So 4 points have been scored so far here in the second half, all 4 by Father Lopez.
Simmons can't get the 3 to go. And Garrett going 1-on-3. Held ball, possession Lopez.
And Wekiva remains in a full court trap here. Father Lopez breaks it much more easily than they have in the past.
Taylor Williams from White.
And now all 6 points have been scored by Father Lopez. They got an opportunity to make it 8.
Mustang foul is called against number 3, Mayanna Garrett. That's her 3rd personal foul. The team's 2nd of this half, and Tanisha Robinson will be at the line shooting 2 for the Green Wave. So yeah, Neil, the Green Wave starting this period on a 6-0 run and a chance to make it 8 now, and that certainly cuts into the momentum that the Mustangs established in the second quarter. Shania McCarthy back in for Bree Williams.
Huge break there for Wekiva. Both free throws no good. That could have cut the lead all the way down to 2 points. And as you mentioned, Mark, momentum is really an issue in this game.
And now Erica Simmons is fouled on the attempt. She'll be at the line shooting 2 for the Mustangs. Green Wave foul is called on Tierra White. It's her 3rd personal, and it's the team's 1st.
And as we've mentioned a couple of times, White has been a key component for the Green Wave. Her and Watson have done the majority of the scoring.
Lauren Stewart in for Tierra White.
Actually, White and Watson both put up 5 points in the first half there. I believe there was only a total of 4 players, who scored. But not only that they have been the primary ball handlers.
Tentative pass to Watson. Green Wave still in control here. Sadasia Payne is able to keep the ball in possession without traveling, and she'll get credit for the rebound there. Mustangs have a chance to finally put some points on the board this period. Payne cannot. Garrett dives for the rebound, but it goes instead to Tanisha Robinson. Stolen by Payne. Sadasia Payne to Mayanna Garrett, and the dry spell is broken. The Mustangs on the board for the second half. Hold is called against Mayanna Garrett, her 4th personal foul, the team's 3rd. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Nikki Butler and Madeline Touzé. And that's critical there, Neil, because Mayanna Garrett has 21 out of the Mustangs' 29 points. All but 8 of Wekiva's points scored by a single player tonight, and she just picked up her 4th foul and got taken out of the game.
Yeah, Wekiva's going to have to find another source now.
2-point jump shot made by Taylor Williams. Rogers steals here, and the Green Wave have a chance to cut it to a one-possession game once again. 3 won't go for Watson. Offensive rebound. And Sadasia Payne gets it back for the Mustangs after a failed jumper from Rogers. James off the mark. Rebound this time goes to Stewart.
So Wekiva's only made 1 of 8 attempts here from the field. They also had an attempt to get 2 points at the free throw line.
Sadasia Payne is called on the hit. It's her first personal foul, the team's 4th, and it will send Taylor Williams to the line to shoot 2 for the Green Wave. So a frustrating quarter for the Mustangs. Just 2 points scored in the last 6 minutes and 6 seconds of game time.
Yeah, and 5 turnovers.
Williams hits her first. And with Mayanna Garrett likely being out of the game until at least the 4th quarter, the Mustangs, like you said, Neil, are going to have to come up with another way to make this happen. Sadasia Payne on other nights has had huge points in the book. She has just 2 tonight. Emmy James, likewise, always a big factor for the Mustangs, and she has a lot of assists, but only 2 points in the book so far.
So again, Wekiva just having trouble keeping control of the ball there.
And Sadasia Payne gets a clean block there. At least that's the way it's ruled on the court. I'm not sure that Coach Reidenauer agrees, but that is the way it's going to get called. And so the Green Wave will still have possession, though, at the Mustang baseline. Outside to an open Rogers, and Lindsey Rogers for 3 on the pass from Taylor Williams.
So looks like the Green Wave at least a little bit has found another source to score. Wekiva has yet to do that.
Yeah, and that was a go-ahead basket. The lead changes hands for the first time since the first quarter. Minute to play here in the third, and
so Wekiva's been outscored 13-2. We got exactly 1 minute left here in the third quarter.
another steal. Perfect trap by Robinson. Three from Watson is short. They're going to say it's out of bounds off the Green Wave. Mustangs will get another chance here to retake the lead with 41.1 seconds left in the third.
So far this quarter, most of these turnovers, Mark, have been balls that have been knocked down while being passed. And Wekiva's yet to adjust to that. Instead of going over the defense, they're still trying to pass through the defense.
Full timeout requested by Wekiva. So interestingly, Coach Butts, with only 26 seconds left in the quarter, thinks it's worth spending a timeout here, and so we'll take the timeout with him. We'll be right back here at Mustang Arena. right, welcome back to Mustang Arena. The last 26 and a half seconds of the third period coming up. And Neil, I don't know if you were listening to Coach Butts during that timeout, but he just about peeled the paint off the back wall.
Yeah, I think anybody on this side of the court, maybe even the other side, could hear him. It was, like you had to be deaf not to hear him. And you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to comment about that. And again, it sounded more like it wasn't really going over strategy. It was just he felt the team wasn't executing, going along with the plays.
That takes us to the end of the third period, and a period that was a score of 13-2 in favor of the Green Wave will give them a 1-point advantage. 30-29 is the score going into the last 8 minutes of the competition.
Was that?
Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Wekiva starts us off for the fourth quarter, and they are looking to change the momentum after scoring just a single field goal in the third period.
Yeah, Mark, 9 turnovers in that quarter compared to only 5 for Father Lopez. And I don't think you need to be a guru, basketball guru, to understand that's why Father Lopez was able to outscore Wekiva by a 13-2 margin.
So this is a good test for the Mustangs. At mid-season, they had some excellent tests with Winter Haven and Mount Verde at the beginning of the season. Father Lopez is their mid-season test, and there is going to be Mayana Garrett from Emmy James, and a combo we have seen a number of times tonight and all season long.
Yeah, and felt a sense of relief throughout Mustang Arena.
Gabby Watson picks up 3 for the Green Wave. And so just when you thought it was safe, there's another James to Garrett combo, but this time it's going to draw a foul. Foul is called against Green Wave, number 30, Tara White, her 4th personal foul. The team's second, and Mayana Garrett will shoot 2. Checking into the game for Lopez, Lauren Stewart.
Yeah, neither team continues to shoot the ball particularly well. Well, actually, Father Lopez, again, they were only 6 of 23 at halftime, and they were actually only 3 of 3.
30-second timeout requested by the Mustangs. And so Coach Butts, just a minute and 7 seconds into this period, is going to talk it over with his team. We'll be right back. Back to live action here at Mustang Arena. We're kind of in the same place we started this period, although the Mustangs looking a little more alive than they did in the third quarter. Coach Putt's making some tweaks there.
And what I was saying as right before that halftime, or before that timeout, was Wekiva, of course, turned the ball over 9 times in that third quarter.
Madeline Tuzet into the key for 2.
But those turnovers also were important as far as creating scoring opportunities. Father Lopez was only 6 of 23 at halftime. There were 5 of 11 in that third quarter. Wekiva, on the other hand, was only 1 of 11. So, again, you turn the ball over, not only does it change the shooting percentage as far as getting more opportunities while decreasing the team that's doing the turning over, but it also allows the percentage to go up because you're getting better shots. Most of the time when the ball is turned over, it creates transition. And I believe at least half of Father Lopez's points scored in that third quarter were scored through transition.
So a little bit of a change in strategy here from the Green Wave. They're taking advantage of the fact there's no shot clock in high school basketball in Florida, and they are counting on, I guess, that if they hold the ball long enough and limit the number of total possessions, that they can win those possessions. We've seen this strategy used against Wekiva before, and at least for the moment, Wekiva is going to allow it to happen. Garrett does not approach Lindsey Rogers here to force a 5-second count, and we're just going to bleed some time off the clock. So, Neil, if you want to talk about the weather, we've had a couple of stormy days in a row here in Central Florida. Probably the worst weather of the year yesterday. Rained all day long. Caused some leaks in my house that had to be addressed as Rogers finally gives up her dribble. Today was more rain and cold weather. And Garrett thought about it. No, she is going to go ahead and get a 5-second count. And we had a timeout requested by Father Lopez. Full timeout for the Green Wave. All right, and since we'll now turn you over to something that's at least as exciting as what you just watched, more of that rotating graphic video coming up. And welcome back to Mustang Arena. We'll see if the Green Wave are actually going to play this time. And it looks like they are.
Yeah, Mark, I was going to say that strategy of not doing anything and holding the ball for a couple of minutes, it's a high risk, high reward because you limit the amount of possessions you have and therefore the opportunities to score. So you better have a high percentage of scoring points in comparison to the possessions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the other thing that strategy accomplishes for you is if you're just worn out and you just need, outside of the context of a timeout, you need some time to give the girls rest. Of course, by doing that for your own team, you also do it for the other team.
Yeah, and that's the other reason that's high risk, high reward.
And, of course, at the college level and the professional level, you can't get away with that because of the shot clock. Even in some states where they have instituted a shot clock, you can't get away with that. I don't think you're going to find a lot of coaches in Florida basketball that think that the shot clock is a bad idea. The problem is the logistics of it, as if you do institute a shot clock policy, everybody has to buy one, and that becomes problematic. A lot of offensive opportunities in a row. None of them are going to go, though. Hold is called against Deja Payne. It's her second and the team's fifth.
So as worse a possible possession just occurred. There 3 field goal attempts, and now did Wekiva not score, but a foul was committed as we got 3.5 minutes left. Good defense there by Nikki Butler, getting her hand on the ball. And then we see lousy execution on the other end, a turnover being the result.
Yeah, on that previous possession by Wekiva, the only thing good it does for your stats is generates a bunch of offensive rebounds. Unfortunately, you can't win a game on offensive rebounds alone. So the Mustangs hanging on to a razor-thin 1-point margin. Good defense again by Nikki Butler. Go-ahead 3-point basket by number 2, Taylor Williams.
And that was a critical miss there by Wekiva. Obviously, they did not score the points and had an opportunity to take the lead, but now Father Lopez has an opportunity to extend their lead to 2 possessions. First time they would do that all game.
Full timeout requested by the Green Wave. We'll be right back. All right, we are back to Mustang Arena. 2 minutes, 28 seconds in a back-and-forth contest. Neither team really on their best game tonight. So far, though, the Green Wave has just a little bit of an edge over the Mustangs. We're going to go with a fully stacked formation to come back from the timeout. Looking for an option, running out of time, and she does get it to Watson before she gets a 5 count.
So Wekiva remaining now in man-to-man defense. We've seen them go the whole gambit of defenses throughout this game, but man-to-man is their bread and butter, so don't expect them to change.
And Butler gets a good block there. She's had a bunch of good possessions in a row on defense. We're going to pick up a foul. Offensive foul is called against Nikki Butler, her first personal foul, the team's 6th, and it turns the ball over to the Green Wave. So, I mean, you can argue about whether that was good defense or whether that was a foul, but the end result of it is a turnover, which is just what Wekiva didn't need right now. She's got a woman right in front of her and finally finds Robinson after failing to find a better option on the inbound. 2 minutes to go here, and now we're going to see if that strategy the Green Wave employed earlier pays off. The hit is called against number 4, Deja Payne. That's her 3rd personal foul, the team's 7th, and it will put the Green Wave into bonus. Returning to the game for the Mustangs, Myanna Garrett. And at the line shooting 1-1 is number 2, Taylor Williams. And so we mentioned earlier, Miami Garrett has been such a factor in the scoring of this game, missed a lot of minutes because she has 4 fouls, and now she does finally come back for the Mustangs. We'll see if it makes a difference here in the last 2 minutes.
And as you mentioned, Mark, Wekiva now has 7 fouls, so free throw shooting, the bonus will be granted to Father Lopez the rest of the way. Wekiva, though, will not probably get into the bonus. Only 2 fouls have been called against Father Lopez. And those 2 free throws were about as critical as possible. They extended the lead to 2 possessions, and now Father Lopez is going to have an opportunity to get the ball possession, lead up to 3 possessions.
Held ball, possession Lopez. And yeah, that'll count also as a turnover, a steal there for Tanasia Robinson, since the possession arrow is in Lopez's favor right now. Too much time on the inbound. Mustangs ball.
So Wekiva going back to full court man-to-man defense there.
Yeah, and they've nearly gotten a 5 count a couple of times. Now they finally actually get the 5 count as Bree Williams back in for Nikki Butler.
And again, that's a critical turnover there for Father Lopez, not just because there's only 1:40 left, but that prevents the lead from going to 3 possessions with 1:40 left.
And here you see, as Coach Butts trades Bree Williams for Nikki Butler, Butler probably the stronger player on defense, Williams probably the stronger player on offense, and we've reached that point in the short-time game where you got to keep making changes to your lineup based on whether you're on offense or defense. Payne fights for the rebound, and she gets it here.
Yeah, excellent job under the board there by Payne to tip the ball away and not let Father Lopez grab it. So again,
good coverage there by Robinson as she deflects the ball away from Shania McCarthy, but it will stay with the Mustangs.
So again, Wekiva's not getting that ball in, and to be honest, they're not really taking good shots, but they have been able to keep possession of it. 1:10 left here.
Cut inside to the baseline, and James gets her shot blocked. Gets her own rebound, though, for another chance. To Williams, short on the 3. McCarthy can't get the putback. Garrett can't get the putback either.
Another possession in which 3 field goal attempts did not go in.
Short time now. Mustangs need to make something happen pretty quick here. Block is called against Taylor Williams. It's her 3rd personal foul, the team's 3rd. And Green Wave still have another 3 fouls to give before they start talking about bonus on their side. Mustangs don't have any. Garrett off the inbound, short. Rebound to Taylor.
And now Wekiva's got a foul here.
Deflected out of bounds by Payne. Mustangs have got to run a full court press, and at this point it may even be time to start thinking about deliberate fouls to put them at the line for bonus and try to get the ball back. But yeah, all the action in the backcourt, at least for the moment. Remember that Garrett cannot foul. Timeout Green Wave. They will spend their final timeout, full timeout called by Lopez. And we'll take a break here with 14.6 left. All right, back to live action for the final 14.6 seconds. Mustangs need to score twice here, and they're going to have to foul immediately. Not surprising. Tanisha Payne is called on the hold. It's her 4th personal foul, the team's 8th. And that will send Taylor Williams to the line to shoot 1-1 for the Green Wave. So, Neil, this is not a district game, so this is not going to affect the playoffs one way or the other, but certainly some lessons to learn here from this game, as the Mustangs in the 4th quarter have been outscored 5-8. Really just the whole second half, the Mustangs have been very flat.
Yeah, well, they've been flat the whole second half. They've only scored 7 points, and there's only 7 seconds left. They got to get a shot off here.
Mayanna Garrett 4-3 on the pass from Emmy James, and a full timeout called by the Mustangs.
So excitement here at Mustang Arena. It's not over quite yet. Father Lopez left the door open by missing the field goal, and Wekiva stepped right through it.
Yeah, we're down to a 1-point game, but now the Mustangs have a very difficult task ahead of them. With 3.1 seconds left on the clock, they're going to have to get the ball back, which means they're going to have no choice but to foul the Green Wave, put them at the other end for the free throw line, hope they miss, and then score in transition. That is still a tall order, even though the Mustangs have closed within 1. We'll be right back. All right, we're back to Mustang Arena, and again, the Mustangs are going to have to foul quickly here with 3.1 ticks to go. And they're going to draw an intentional foul, which is just exactly what they didn't need. Intentional foul is called against number 15, Emmy James. That means that the Green Wave will get automatic possession after these free throws by Tanisha Robinson.
Yeah, and that should do it, Mark. Even if neither free throw is good, there's only 1.5 seconds left.
Yeah, even if she misses both of these, you're still back in the same place you were before, except with only half the time left.
Well, I guess reality, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that was just, credit to where credit is due. Robinson did a great job escaping from the stack formation with nobody in front of her, which means that you can't foul legally without getting called for an intentional foul, which is getting up on a defenseless player from behind. That's where you get that intentional foul, signaled by the referee with the X's above the head.
And the pass was perfectly thrown as well over the head. And with 1.5 seconds left, there's not really much that can be done once the ball is inbounded.
Who was foul on? That'll be 5 for her then. Foul is called against number 4, Tanisha Payne. That's her 5th personal foul. She retires from the game with 2 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists for the Mustangs. Lopez shooting 1-1 with Tanisha Robinson. Shooting double bonus, shooting 2. And 0.4 seconds on the clock.
So, Mark, the game isn't quite over yet, but for all intents and purposes, only 0.4 of a second. And again, what really sealed the deal was on that inbound pass. Perfect execution by Father Lopez. They sent the player past half court.
That takes us to the end of the ball game, and it is a 1-point victory for the Green Wave. 38-37 is the final score here as we wrap up the first semester at Mustang Arena. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out tonight to support your Mustang and Green Wave athletes. Special thanks to those of you who came all the way from Daytona Beach to visit us here for Friday night basketball action. Again, Mustangs will be back on the court next week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Florida Prospects Holiday Classic, the Diamond Division, right here at Mustang Arena. And they'll be playing their first game at 7:30 next Thursday. And again, that will be against West Oaks Academy. For those of you listening online, thanks for tuning in. We hope you will subscribe to our YouTube channel, Wekiva Sports, before you go. For those of you here in the arena, on your way out, please pull out your phone. I would consider it a personal Christmas present to me if we could get from 392 to 400 subscribers before the end of the year. If you would help us do that, we'd be greatly appreciative, as that will help us get toward YouTube partner status. Again, thanks for coming out tonight and all season long. Have a wonderful holiday season. Have a safe drive home. And thanks for joining us here at Mustang Arena. Good night.